Hello everyone, my name is Oxters. Today I'll be testing out some controllers on the Odin Pro. I have a wired Xbox 360 Gamepad and some other controllers. Let's start off with the Xbox controller. So the Odin, right now it's plugged in through the cable onto the dock. And the dock is only plugged into the USB-C power, not through HDMI right now. And we're gonna test out some buttons. So the D-pad is being picked up. There's the B button and the A button. Now I have a better way of also checking what's being picked up. So over here, I have a program in my downloads. It's made with Unity. It's a program of something called Rewired. It's an asset from Unity, and it has a joystick element identifier. So we can see here that it can see two Microsoft Xbox 360 pads. The first one is actually the Odin's built-in controller. So if I say press a button here, you see in axis 5 it's showing -1, and axis 5 now showing 1, axis 4 1, -1, that's the D-pad. And if we use the left analog stick, that's axis 0 and 1, and so on. So now we're gonna check out what the Xbox 360 Gamepad shows, but we're gonna need to I need to connect my keyboard. I have a Bluetooth keyboard, so I'm going to plug that in. There it is, it got connected. And all I have to do is press the plus button to switch from, see over here it says now joystick ID, where's my finger? There it is, ID number 2. Now if I press minus, it's 1, plus it's 2. Before we were doing 1, and so now if we trying to move the joystick, it's not gonna show up anymore. But if I move the left analog stick of the connected through USB gamepad, it shows for axis 0 and 1. So now, one thing to note is when I try to use the right joystick, nothing shows up on any of the axes for the Xbox 360 Gamepad. And then the buttons over here, I'm pressing A, showing as button 1, B, button 0, X, that's button 3, and Y, button 2. And then if I press the start button, that's button 10. If I press this, the back button, that's button 11. And then if I do the right button, the RB, that is button 5. And if I do LB, that is button 4. And if I do the left trigger, LT, that shows up as axis 1, going from -1 when fully released, and 1 when fully pressed. Before, when it wasn't touched, it was set to 0. But once it's touched, it goes to -1 by default. And for the right trigger, RT, it goes for axis 3, a similar thing, from -1 to 1. -1 is when it's released, and 1 is when it's pressed. And same when I touched the left trigger, it brought up the right trigger. And then we also have the D-pad. If I press up, it doesn't look like it's, oh there it is, axis 5, -1, and axis 5, 1 for when I'm pressing down, and left is axis 4, -1, and right is axis 4, 1. So it seems like everything is showing up except for the right analog stick. Let me also try pressing the Xbox button, let's see what that does. It doesn't look like it's bringing up anything. All right, so that is the Xbox 360 Gamepad tested out on the Odin Pro. I can also test it out later on RetroArch or some other emulators, but this is it for now. Thanks for watching.